Oh, hello, great readers. I'm Bill Chan.
I'm Nimacum.
I'm Van Chan.
In this class, I'll read all of you a part of Ulysses,
S.
L.
Ulysses, James Joyce. Club, 1666. Below. The name of Antonio. Done that. There he is himself. A Greek. Did it hurt much doing it? One asked the sailor. That worthy, however, was busily engaged in collecting round the Suwanes, squeezing her. See you, he said, throwing a doornail. There he is cursing the mate. And there he is now, he added, the same fellow, pulling the skin with his fingers. Some special knack evidently, and he laughing at a yarn. And in point of fact, the young man named Antonio's livid face did actually look. Ike was smiling, and the curious effect excited the unreserved admiration of everybody, including Skim the goat, who this time stretched over. And sighed the sailor, looking down on his manly chest. He's gone too. Ate by sharks after. He let go of the skin so that the profile resumed the normal expression of the fur. Neat bit of worked, one longshoreman said. And what's the number for? Loafer number 2 queried. Eaten alive? A third asked the sailor. And sighed again the latter personage, more truly this time with some sort of a half smile for a brief duration, only in the direction of the questioner about the number. A Greek he was, for he left me on my Anio. The face of a streetwalker glazed and haggard under a black straw hat bade askew. Round the door of the shelter, palpably reconnoitring on her own with the object of bringing more grist to her mill. Mr. Bloom, scarcely knowing which way to look, turned away on the moment, flustified but outwardly calm. And picking up from the table the pink sheet of the Abbey Street organ which the Jarvey, if such he was, had laid aside. He picked it up and looked at the pink of the paper, though I pink. His reason for so doing was he recognised on the moment round the door the same face he had caught a fleeting glimpse of that afternoon on Almond Quay. The partially idiotic female, namely, of the lane who knew the lady in the brown costume to be with you. Mrs. B. and begged the chance of his washing. Also, why washing which seemed rather vague than that. You were washing. Stuck in Doak compelled him to admit he had washed his wife's undergarments when Sullivan. Hall Street and Womenwood undid to a man's similar garments initialed with Belay. And Draper's marking and curs were that as if they really loved him. That is to say, love me. Love my dirty shirt. Still just then, being on tenterhooks, he desired the female's room more than her company, so it came as a genuine relief when the keeper made her a rude sign to take herself off. On the side of the Evening Telegraph he just caught a fleeting glimpse of her, faced round the side of the door with a kind of demented glassy grin showing that she was not exactly all there. Viewing with evident amusement the group of gazers round Skipper Murphy's nautical chest, and then there was no more of her. The bunboat, the keeper said. It beats me, Mr. Bloom confided to Stephen. Medically I am speaking. How a wretched creature like that from the Lock Hospital reeking with disease can be barefaced enough to solicit or how any man in his sober senses, if he values his health in the least. Unfortunate creature. Of course, I suppose some man is ultimately responsible for her condition. Still, no matter what the cause is from. In this country people sell much more than she ever had enduring. Great. For not then that sell the body but have not parted by the soul. She is a band merchant. She buys dear and sells cheap. The elder man, though not by any manner of means an old maid or a brood, said it was nothing short of a crying scandal that ought to be pretty. Stopped instanter to say that woman of that stamp, quite apart from any old maidish squeamishness on the subject, a necessary evil, were not licensed and medically inspected by the proper authorities. A thing he could truthfully state, hey, as a pater familias, was a stalwart advocated from the very first start. Whoever embarked on a policy of the sort, he said, and ventilated the matter thoroughly, would confer a lasting boon on everybody concerned. You as a good Catholic, he observed, talking of body and soul, believe in the soul. Or do you mean the intelligence, the brain power as such, as distinct from any outside object? The table, that is to say, that cup. I believe in that myself because it has been explained by competent men as the convolutions of the grey matter. Otherwise we would never have such inventions as X-rays. For instance, to you, they tell me on the best authority it is a simple substance and therefore incorruptible. It would be immortal, I understand, but for the possibility of its annihilation by its first cause, you, from all I can hear, is quite capable of adding that to the number of his other practical jokes. Corruptio per se and corruptio per accidens both being excluded by court etiquette. Simple? I shouldn't think that is the proper word. Of course, I grant you, to concede a point, you do knock across a simple soul once in a blue moon. But what I am anxious to arrive at is it is one thing, for instance, to invent those razor engined or the telescope like Edison. Though I believe it was before his time, Galileo was the man. I mean, and the same applies to the laws, for example, of a far-reaching natural phenomenon such as electricity, but it's a horse of quite another colour to say you believe in the existence of a supernatural God. All that, Stephen expostulated, has been proved conclusively by several of the best-known passages in Holy Writ. Apart from circumstantial evidence. On this now they point over the views of the pair, poles apart as they were both in schooling and everything else, with the marked difference in their respective ages. Part has been the more experienced of the two objected, sticking to his original point with a smile of unbelief. I'm not so sure about that. That's a matter for everyone's opinion, and without dragging in the sectarian side of the business, I beg to differ with you in toto there. My belief is, to tell you the candid truth, that those bits were genuine forgeries, all of them put in by monks most probably. Or it's the big question of our national poet over again. Who precisely wrote them, like Hamlet and Bacon? And you know your Shakespeare infinitely better than I. Of course, I needn't tell you. Can't you drink that coffee? By the way, let me stir it. And take a piece of that bun. It's like one of our skipper's bricks disguised. Still no one can give what he hasn't got. Try a bit. McCulloch. Stephen contrived to get out, his mental organs for the moment refusing to dictate further. Fault-finding being a proverbially bad hat, Mr. Bloom fought well to stir or try to. The clouded sugar from the bottom and reflected with something approaching acrimony on the coffee. Palace and its temperance and lucrative work. To be sure, it was a legitimate object and beyond ye or nay did a world of good. Shelters such as the present one they were in run on teetotal lines for vagrants. At night, concerts, dramatic evenings and useful lectures, admittance free by qualified men for the lower orders. On the other hand, he had a distinct and painful recollection they paid his wife, Madame Marion Tweedy, who had been prominently associated with it at one time. A very modest remuneration indeed for her piano playing. The idea, he was strongly inclined to believe, was to do good and net a profit, there being no competition to speak of. Sulphate of copper was in so awesome thing, and some dried peas he remembered reading of in a cheap eating house somewhere, but he couldn't remember when it was or where. Anyhow, inspection, medical inspection, of all eatables seemed to him more than ever necessary, which possibly accounted for the fog of Dr. Tibble's room and cocoa on account of the medical analysis involved. To be continued.